I can see you thinking, let me in. Is what you're saying, what you're meaning. I'm trying to make some sense. I'm over the suspense, but a part of me knows how this ends. Cause after all this time, got me feeling alive, and we could go all night. Cause you know what we're like. And after all this time, got me feeling alive, and we could go all night. Cause you know what we're like. Yeah, that's all we like. I can see it, show me that you mean it, let me in. Though I don't wanna lecture or put you under pressure, I'm just trying to make some sense. I'm over the suspense, but a part of me knows how this ends. I know, cause after all this time, got me feeling alive, and we could go all night. Cause you know what we're like. And after we like. That's all we like. Cause after all this time, got me feeling alive, and we could go all night. Cause you know, and after all this time, got me feeling alive, and we could go all night. Cause you know, cause after all this time, got me feeling alive, and we could go all night. Cause you know what we're like. And after all this time, got me feeling alive, and we could go all night. Cause you know what we're like. Yeah, that's all we like. That's all we like.
Hello, hello, and welcome back to another Jovian Space System stream. I will be your commentator for the day, Brandon.
Vehicle
I
tag
am the
pressures are normal.
COO and lead of Skybound operations here at Jovian Space System. So great to have you here joining us today. On your screen and on the pad of Machia is the second stage for the next flight of Skybound. We had some in the past weeks, we've dealt with a lot of the issues that were plaguing us during the first two flight tests. We've certainly done a lot of fixes towards this vehicle, and this upcoming flight, we hope we can get into orbit. We are going for a static fire of the second stage today. We're going for the static fire to test the Proxima vacuum engine and its ability to fire for a semi-durational, we'll kind of experience some of that semi-duration stage 2 burn today. In the past couple weeks from our last flight, the teams have corrected numerous issues with the vehicle, including some tank pressures, including some engine TBC improvements, which caused the last flight to have a subsequent end, which was not planned at all. We have since corrected that issue, and hopefully it will not happen again. Another one of those issues was we experienced what we call an engine fuel combustion, where one of the engines was actually eating itself alive, pretty much. So we've hopefully corrected that by lowering some of the fuel rates that it happens. There will be a press release that will release after today's stream. So stay on the lookout for that and join our Discord server. Link is in the description down below, and follow us on our social channels, also linked in the description. About 13 minutes away. Teams are quiet. However, everything continues to look good here. We are continuing to count down as we speak. Now just 13 minutes and 30 seconds away. This stage 2 static fire is not the only test we will be conducting today. After this test, 20 minutes after, we'll be targeting the stage 1 static fire. That will be the flight article for stage 1 that will be the flight article that will be used during the next flight of Skybound. So we are currently continuing to count down, as I said. We had a it was very productive, all those fixes we made.
Tank pressures are nominal.
Everything continuing to progress nominally here as we continue to count down through, as we continue to count through this count. Everything is progressing nominally, just about 10 minutes away from today's test.
Stage 2 proximate engine chill down sequence has begun.
There's that Proxima vacuum engine chill down sequence. We chilled down the engine to make sure that the engine does not thermally shock itself. This is a very important procedure, and if we did, it could cause the subsequent explosion of this engine. On this upcoming flight, our objective is to make it to main engine cutoff, which we have unfortunately not been able to get to. However, we believe that we can make it on this flight. After the last flight, we've been investigating with the CIA, which is our federal agency that helps us launch. They're also the ones that give us the licenses in order to fly. They are very important to us, and we are very appreciative of the people over there that give us the licenses and help us launch into space with Skybound. If this test does abort, we will still attempt the Stage 1 static fire today, as Stage 2 is not, and this test is not reliant off of Stage 1.
Stage 2 propellant levels are nominal.
So about 7 minutes away here, mission control audio should start piping up a little more as we continue to get closer and closer to today's static fire test. We do have a 15-minute window for today's static fire of Stage 2 and we have a, I got my notes here, we have a 2-hour window for both static fires. Hopefully that won't be needed today. However, if in case it is, we can always recycle and or abort today's test, and we can retry either tomorrow or the day after that.
Hold.
And we've had a hold, waiting to hear why and who it was called by.
This is propellant we are holding due to some unexpected temperatures. We are working to chill down the propellant further.
Alright, so we are holding due to the propellant being at different temperatures than we like. We usually super chill those propellants, as we use RP1, which is a rocket formed kerosene that is used by a lot of launch providers, and liquid oxygen as our oxidizer. You can use other fuels, however, for Skybound, we do use RP1 and liquid oxygen. So the engines have to be, in order for the engines to fire, the fuel temperatures need to be exactly right, which is why we're holding here to make sure that they are right. And from the sounds of it, it is a little too high right now. And we don't want them to start, if the worst comes to worst, then we ignite the engine with off-nominal fuel temperatures, some bad things could happen. Once again, if you just joined us, welcome to Jovian Space Systems. I'm your commentator, Brandon. I'm the COO and LSO here at Jovian Space Systems. We are currently experiencing a hold due to off-nominal temperatures of the fuel. So we are currently working to chill those down a little more. Now, some of the things that could happen is the fuel could start evaporating, which would not be a good thing, and they could start causing a higher pressure. Now, from that first flight, we do have reinforced tanks. However, if it gets too high of a pressure, even reinforced things can still burst.
All stations, this is propellant. It does look like we've had a bad sensor. All other sensors are within nominal ranges. We are ready to resume count.
Alright, so it seems like it was a faulty sensor, actually. So good news there.
Resume count on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark.
Alright, so we are currently counting down again till T0. Before that, stage 2, Proxima vacuum engine static fire. So it does appear that systems are looking good, are looking nominal, which is a good sign for today's test. Once again, if anything goes wrong, you will hear one of the 4 launch operators, either the launch director, propulsion, range, or propellant, call a hold on the countdown net, and then they will state the reason why, and then we will hopefully be able to troubleshoot it. If they can't troubleshoot it, then it will cause a scrub, which would mean that we would have to completely kind of recycle and would either have to go, depending on what the issue would be, it would either have to go tomorrow, which is when we have our next available window for a static fire, or Thursday, I believe. Yep, either tomorrow or Thursday. After that, we would have to kind of roll the vehicle back, and because if that's causing a 2-day delay, we have a rule where we always like to roll it back to see if we can that if it's a severe issue, we might have to require some fixes.
Propellant
Right
levels
now,
are fully topped off.
Propellant is fully topped off now, which is good for today's test. Continuing to count down here, just 3 minutes 45 seconds away from today's test. Everything is going nominally here. We should be getting to the final go-no-go poll for launch shortly here. And once we do that, we will pull all 4 of the operators, and you'll pull all 4 operators, and if everyone's go, we will continue countdown for today's static fire. That should be happening imminently, shortly. So we shall see. As we continue to count down.
All stations prepare for the final test go-no-go. Mark your status on your polling sheets.
Alright, so we are getting closer to that final go-no-go poll for today's static fire test of the second stage. Once again, we are expecting a multi-second engine static fire of that Proxima vacuum engine
All
on the test stand at the
LD for the final go-no-go. Range is go. Propellant is go. Propulsion is go. LD is go to continue with count.
Alright, so we are go for today's test, which is a great sign that all the teams have prepared for this, and you will see how everything is. Now, that stage 2 has not burned actually in flight yet, so any data we can get on the test stand is valuable into making adjustments that will improve reliability once we get to that second stage engine burn, which is hopefully this coming flight, which will happen very soon, actually. We are currently coordinating with our partners at the CAA for opportunities to fly. Stay tuned for that announcement on our social medias and on our Discord.
T-1 minute.
1 minute away from this test. They're looking good. Hopefully, we can get a nominal static fire here and get some valuable data. Even though that it is not flight data, any data we can get is valuable data. So, we will see what happens in about 40 seconds here. I will be quiet for the remainder of the count. Enjoy the engine audio of the great evac.
T-minus 30. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Abort.
And we've had an abort. We're going to wait to hear what happened. let's see what happened there. It did look like we heard the beginning of the script sequence. However, I don't think I saw the engine have some flames coming out of the back end of it. So we will hold here and see if we're going to recycle or just scrub the second stage static fire test and move straight into the first stage static fire attempt today. Once again, we have a 2-hour window.
This is LD for the ignition abort. Ignition sequence started, and then we aborted. We'll be recycling to T-minus 2 minutes.
Alright, recycling to T-minus.
All stations, prepare for recycle to T-minus 2 minutes on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark.
Alright, so we've identified that issue, and we are back, and we are at just T-minus 2 minutes now, and hopefully everything will go better. It will go better this time.
T-minus 140.
It's 140. We are already go for the test. I don't know if what the teams are going to do. If we're going to hear another one of those go poll for the test. However, if we do, I will be quiet for it. But I do believe that we are go. Once again, we have a 2-hour window, and don't leave after this static fire, as the main part of this testing today The stage 1 static fire is right after this. So make sure you stay for that. That'll be very exciting, but we are just a minute away, so I'm going to shut up and be
2
quiet
minutes
here
45.
so you can enjoy the test.
Two minutes 30. Two minutes 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition.
Oh. As we said, this test was not guaranteed to work, and it has appeared that that second stage engine and that second stage has suffered some sort of. Oh, never mind. It is burning a little. Sorry, it is burning. The engine is burning. It looks like there was an anomaly there,
Chamber
but it
pressures
was
are
not.
normal.
There is chamber pressures are nominal. All right, so we are continuing to burn. Everything looks nominal here in the mission
All stage 2
control
systems are
center.
nominal.
We are uh, everything looks good. We're probably gonna have to look into what that explosion was at the beginning. However, at this point, we are flying. It was gas that was under the vehicle that got ignited, but we
Chamber
are
pressures have
still burning
decreased.
here. Chamber pressures have decreased, so
Shutdown.
so that's good. And we've had a shutdown. Let's wait to hear from LD or propulsion about the data that we just got.
Test was good so far. Minus explosion.
So it does appear that we had a nominal test, even with that gas pileup that happened. Um, I guess we're gonna go now swap over to show the stage 1 is static fire in a
All
couple seconds here.
stations clean up stage 2. Vent all excess pressures. Detank procedure has started.
Alright, so that detank procedure has started. Will detank, which will get the vehicle rid of all of its liquid propellant that are inside the vehicle. Once again, if you're just joining us, we just had a nominal static fire of stage 2. We did experience a
All
gas
teams switch over to
explosion upon
stage 1
ignition.
telemetry.
However, it was a good static fire. I'm your commentator, Brandon, the operations officer, and lead of Skybound operations. I'm not going to swap over to stage 1 here, so we're probably going to take a break, I believe, to swap over as it. And welcome back. We've swapped over cameras and our telemetry over to stage 1 on the launch pad, actually. Waiting to hear the official T minus time until the test. We are expecting a 9-engine set of approximate levels today. Waiting on the official word from the launch director of the targeted T0. We do have a lot of time left on the window. Skybound is not the biggest of vehicles, so we can recycle pretty quickly if necessary. In case that happens, we have a maximum hold time of about 25 minutes if you rehook all the replenish valves and strong back
All
systems to
stations, this is
re.
LD.
Um,
Set time to T minus 15 minutes.
Alright, so we are T minus 15 minutes away from the 9-engine static fire of the first stage. Stage 1 is a lot more prestigious than the second stage.
Hold.
Alright, we are back. Sorry for that LOS. The signal sometimes drops out, which is common. We use the TDRS satellite networks for communications. That can go in and out at times. But we are back for it. LD said it 15 minutes until a static fire of the first Alright, we're back again. I have absolutely no clue what that was, but we're continuing with the count. It potentially was the Proxima engine startup sequence, with them turning on, because you turn those Proxima engines on right, usually like 15 minutes before launch, and he gets the Proxima computers ready, and they're ready in time for the for engine show. Alright, continuing to count down here. We can't see the countdown clock. We're looking, trying to figure that out. In the meantime, any questions, just pop them in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them. Everything continuing to look good, which is a good sign that we could actually static fire this thing. Yippee. I believe we are 9 minutes away from static fire, essentially. As we said, we don't have a countdown clock on screen, so not even I know what is happening right now. The nets are completely silent. It's uncommon, so I, I don't know what's happening, but it doesn't sound good. Um, so just hope we can get an update shortly here about what the current deal is and if we are actually going to backfire tonight or not today.
We are currently 2 minutes 12 minutes. All systems looking good.
We get so 12 minutes away, apparently. I guess we were in a hole. Interesting. Alright, so we're continuing to count down here. 12 minutes from test. Still working. Counting down here. So hopefully we see a static fire today. If we don't, it'll be sad, but you gotta understand that in rocketry and in the aerospace field, something it is always very difficult to do things. It also applies to systems continuing to look nominal here. Currently just hanging out, waiting for a static fire here as we have no clear T0 at the moment, which, is a little, we just gotta wait for it, and, once we get to 1 minute though, once we get to the final go, no go poll, we will hear it. So that is a positive. But until then, it's kind of just, nothing going on in the count right now, which is a little weird, but, just waiting for static fire. Once again, this is not a flight test. If anyone was wondering, there would be a second stage on this vehicle if there was. Yeah. Alright, so we're continuing to count down here. There we go, we got a countdown clock. About 7 minutes and 45 seconds away. System's looking good. The ground launch sequencer is taken over. That will conduct the countdown from here for onboard vehicle, for the ground systems. And then the autonomous launch sequencer will take over. We have coded it though that it will not command the vehicle to launch, which is good because we are not even licensed to fly right now. About 7 minutes. Now, teams worked through all the issues. So now we are just waiting as we are 6:45 away.
Test computers have been powered on. Calibration has begun.
Alright, so computers have been powered on, and they're being calibrated right now. Great news for today's testing.
Vehicle systems have switched to internal power.
Vehicle
Stage 1
system.
tanks are pressurizing for test.
Alright, the Stage 1 tanks are pressurizing for today's test. We'll get them up to flight levels in order to static fire. About 5 minutes away from the test. System's looking nominal.
Skybound is on internal power.
Alright, so Skybound now. Alright, just about 4 minutes away. Got a lot of things coming up in the count. We did hear the call that the Proxima engines were priming, which is in preparation for them, for the Proximas to go into the high flow purge, which means that they are chilled and primed and are go for ignition, and are ready for ignition.
Skybound systems showing green.
And Skybound systems are showing green, indicating that we are go for launch. Or sorry, go for the test. Alright, just under 3 minutes now. The Stage 1 tank is at flight pressure.
High flow purge
Is
has
a
been
good sign. We
enabled.
should have.
Proxima engines are primed and chilled for flight.
Alright, so there is that high flow purge. That is a big one. And in a few seconds here, we should have that final go no go for the 9 engine static error. Any second.
All stations, this is LD for the final go no go poll. Report your status on polling sheet. Range is go. Propellant is go. Propulsion is go.
Alright, so we are go for the test. The Stage 1 replenish valve has, I believe, been closed. If the timeline serves correct. And there you go. We have the engine UI graphic that shows how many engines are running. So we are very. The ALS, the autonomous launch sequencer, has been handed off control from the ground launch sequencer, which is a step towards that T0 ignition. So we are currently just waiting for the T0 mark, which should be any minute or any second now.
T-minus 1 minute.
Alright, we are 1 minute away. Skybound is in startup, which means the flight computers have taken control of the onboard vehicle systems. Should be hearing that go or no go for the test.
LD is go for test.
Alright, we are go for test. I'll be
T-minus 30
quiet
seconds.
here for the remainder of the test. Good luck, Skybound. Godspeed. Stage 1.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Waiting ignition sequence start. Ignition sequence start.
At ignition of all non-functional sea levels.
All 9 engines running.
Hold on, look close. There should be having some gimbal stuff during this test. So keep an eye out on the bottom of for the very plate thing that is the confirmed that things start moving around or if anybody are moving. Good.
All 9 engines firing strong. Shutdown.
Oh. Now we've had shutdown.
LD confirms nominal start
So
flight.
wait the date. And that's great news. That paves the way for the full stack in shortly. We're gonna roll back soon. I've been your commentator for today, Brandon. I'm the Chief Operations Officer and lead of Skybound Operations here at Jovian Space Systems. Great to have you with us, and come back soon for the launch. Take care, everyone.